Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. About a year ago, I sold my neighbor a little DJI Mini, but before I let him take it, I taught him how to fly a drone using a micro mini drone, and I made a video about it. But he's in his 30s, so I've always wanted to make a video with someone much younger. So last month, when our 10-year-old Patrick came to our AUVSI Lone Star fly-in, and he wanted to learn how to fly a drone, I said, "Hey Patrick, you live close to me. Come over to my house and let's make a video to see how soon a 10-year-old could learn how to fly a drone." So if you're wondering what AUVSI is, it's an acronym for this. It's the largest nonprofit organization for drones to promote safety and education to the public. Kind of like what NRA is for guns. That's what AUVSI is for drones. And I'm the director of education and training. So I love training people how to fly drones. So up next, I interview Patrick, and then we're going to use the mini drone. Then he's going to go outside and fly the MiniPro3. You're not going to believe how fast a 10-year-old can learn how to fly a drone because you got to learn the orientation of it on the mini drone. So let's see how he does. Okay. Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm James and I'm with
Patrick.
And how old are you, Patrick?
10.
10. And where do you live?
Texas.
And what do you do for fun?
Play video games and sports.
Okay, what kind of sports?
Soccer, basketball, and football.
Goodness, that's a lot of work. And why are you here today?
To learn how to fly a drone.
And why would you want to do that?
For fun.
Well, for fun. And where do we meet?
The park.
Yeah, guys, we were at the AUVSI fly-in. We do it once a month, the first Sunday in Louisville, Texas. And we put it out there on the internet, and some people come that's never flown a drone. And his mom was there, and I said, why don't you bring Patrick by and I'll teach him how to fly a drone at my house? Because that day, it was really, really windy. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, first time, you know what most people do? They look on the internet and they think, I want this drone. And they go buy it, and you know what they come home with? They come home with something like this. And why do you think that would happen? Why would they crash their drone the first time they flew it?
Because they need practice.
They need practice. And so wouldn't it be better to practice on something like this?
Yep.
And so let me tell you that this drone and this little controller, and when I teach you to fly this little drone, then we're gonna go outside and we're gonna fly this drone outside. Even if it's windy, this is the Maverick Pro 3. It's gonna do really good. So the controls on this and the controls on this are the same because drones sit on forward axis. So what that means is they both go forward and backwards. They yaw left and right, they roll left and right, and they go up and down. So it's not like a boat. You can get a remote control boat and you just push it to go and it goes left and right. That's only 3 things it can do. This thing can actually do 8 different things. So you have to learn how to fly it. So you ready? Okay, so what I'm gonna do first of all is we're just gonna walk through some different basic maneuvers of what to do with this controller. And you see these props?
Yep.
What's around them?
Protection.
So what happens if you crash it?
It's not gonna get broken.
Very good. Then this drone, are these protected?
No.
So what happens if you crash this one?
Then it might break.
They might break. And these are called blades for a reason. You know why these are called blades or props?
So they can fly.
So they can fly, but they're also, if they hit you and you're flying and they hit you, they'll cut you. I promise I've done it many times. And they get stuck in your wife's hair and she gets really mad.
Oh my God.
All right, you ready? All right. All right, so here we go. You remember the takeoff button?
Yeah, this one.
Okay, yep. All right, the first thing you want to do is get rid of distractions. So I got to get rid of my barking dog. Second of all, the first time you put it up in the air, you want to keep it pointed away from you. So you want to keep see that bright light? That means that's the front of the drone. Because that way when you turn it to the left, you turn it to the right, it turns to the left and right. But when you turn the drone around, everything's backwards. So your whole first battery, you want to have it faced away from you. And as we go through these exercises, I want him to have an agenda, but not right now. Right now, I just want him to try to keep the drone focused in front of him, and it's gonna float around to the left and to the right, but just try to keep it centered. Another good practice is just start with the right joystick. It makes it go forward and backwards, and it makes it roll left and right, where the other one makes it go up and down and yaws it left and right. So if you just get used to using the right joystick, it makes it much easier. You can actually make the drone do a square pattern or even do figure eights just with the right joystick. I also want him to crash the drone, kind of knock it into the wall and see it fall. And why would you want to do that? To take away the fear of crashing. That's the number one thing when you put it in the air. You have anxiety because you're afraid of crashing it. So if you see the drone crash and you hits the ground, it kind of takes away some of that fear because you can't really hurt these little drones. Be sure and set your gyros every time that you put it up in the air.
Landed. I landed it.
Main thing is have fun and celebrate the small victories. You're still in speed 1, so take it back up. Now have the light point at you.
Okay.
So now that you have the drone facing you, 3 of the 4 axes are backwards. The up and down still the same, but the roll, pitch, and yaw are all now backwards. And it just takes a long time for your subconscious to get used to the fact that it's backwards. And sometimes it takes a minute to realize which way the drone is facing. You'll get used to it. Your skill set will improve over time. One thing I did is I would run the drone up and down a hallway until my dogs let my dogs chase it. And if I wanted to go away from the wall, I would try to think, I'm going to try to smash into the wall. And the more time that you visually see that happen when it's coming towards you, and your subconscious will tell you that when you move the joystick that way, that's the way the drone's going to go. And look at that smile on Patrick's face. That's what it's all about, having fun flying a drone, and that anxiety goes away. And this may seem confusing at first, but it's like when you first started driving a car. You were very, very nervous, but to do every action of the steering wheel and all the different things that you do when you're driving, but after a while your subconscious just takes over. Now when you drive to work, your subconscious is driving, but you're aware of what you're doing, but you don't have to think, it's time to hit the brake, it's time to turn the steering wheel, it's time to do certain things. So until you can fly a drone subconsciously, you shouldn't go outside and fly a $1,000 drone. Someone like Patrick that's 10 years old, he's going to pick this up in 15, 20 minutes. An old fart like me, it could take an hour. Another thing too, we're only going to do this for about 15 minutes and he really starts to get the hang of it. And we're going to go outside and we're going to fly the DJI MiniPro3. But if you're doing it solo, I would probably go through 20 batteries until you really get used to it. If you've got someone that can help you outside that has been flying drones for a while, that if you start to get in a panic situation or you don't know what to do and they can take over the control, then you can probably start that process a lot sooner. But if you're just doing it solo, I would just keep going and through battery after battery after battery until you really got it down to where your dogs can chase the drone all over the house and you don't even have to think about it. Then you're ready for the controls. And you won't believe how much anxiety that takes off of you when you first go out and fly a drone. I know realtors and some other people that have bought like a Mavic Pro 2 and it's been sitting on their shelf in the closet for 2 years because they even got their 107 and they're ready to go do it, but every time they flew it, it just gave them a lot of angst and it wasn't worth it. Kind of like when people buy a treadmill, they think they're going to get in shape and they don't. It just sits there and becomes a clothes pamper. Well, the same thing with the drone can happen if you don't enjoy what you're doing. But if you learn this orientation and go through these first steps and just spend a little bit of time, it'll make it a lot more enjoyable and you'll use it. And if you look, I have him go back to just using his right hand. Then sometimes you just use your left hand. That way when you start using both of them together, it just makes more sense. And yes, that is Proud Mama on the GoPro watching over her son. So in my last video when I taught my neighbor, that video was 42 minutes long. I don't want this one to be that long. I just want to go over the basics of what we did before he went outside and flew a drone for the first time. And believe it or not, when we go outside and fly the GPS drone, it's actually easier to fly than a beginner mini drone, because when you let go of the sticks, it just holds its position because it's controlled by the satellite. So there's GPS drones and non-GPS drones. So of course a budget beginner drone or a mini drone like this is not a GPS drone. So if you're outside and it's windy, then you got to fight the wind. But GPS drones will just hold their position. And if you ever get into a panic situation, just let go of the sticks and it will just hover in place. So what I want you to do now is make it go that way, turn around, come back at you, then make it turn around. So what we're doing here now is just going through some different exercises so he's just not aimlessly flying around and he has an agenda.
Okay, I crashed it.
Finally.
That's the second time. That's the second time, okay? Not the first, not the third.
All right, so now we went through our third battery and it's time to head outside.
I just put it up.
Okay, I just put, all right, so I think we're ready to go outside. Okay, actually, you know what? That drone's gonna be easier to fly. So, on this one, to make it take off, there's two ways to do it. We can push this button, but the easiest way to do it is to pull down and in like this. See it? And they start. Then you just push up. But see, when you let go of that one, it just stays. Even though it's windy. See how it just stays? Then I can push forward, and it just stays. Not like that other one.
Oh, okay? That's my ears.
Okay, so first of all, what I want you to do is just make it go up and down.
Okay.
Just make it go up. Okay, now just bring it back down. Wait, you got, watch the drone, don't watch the screen, okay? Just watch the drone. So make it come back down. Make it come down. Make it go up. Okay, come back down. Okay. You need a hat for shade?
I mean, I guess, if you want to give me one. I mean, I'm good without it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Patrick, come over here and face this way so you're not looking into the sun. You always got to have what's called situational awareness. Is that easier now?
Yeah, way easier.
Way easier. So half the part of flying a drone is having situational awareness. I mean, are you facing into the sun, not into the sun? Are you aware of your surroundings with trees and buildings and people and dogs? You got to be safe for you and everyone around you, not just flying the drone. And also in the beginning, don't look at the camera, look at the drone until you really get the hang of it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to have him try to fly the drone straight into me and show him that it's got obstacle avoidance. Kind of like how I had him crash it into the wall. I'm going to show him that this drone will not run into me to take away some of the anxiety. Watch this. Try to make it hit me. Watch. It won't. It won't go forward, will it?
It went up over you.
It went up. So that's what it did. So there's two ways you can set your obstacle avoidance. You can have it just stop and hover when it's going to run into something, or you can have it on bypass. So we have it set on bypass. That's why when he tried to run it into me, it went over my head. Now what I'm trying to teach him is not to move the stick so much. That's the hardest thing when you first start flying outside, is you want to really push and jam on the sticks. You want to have slow increments on the sticks, very, very slow movements on the sticks. The drone responds very quickly to the inputs of the stick. So turn around and have it face us. Turn around, face us. So we need to have a mission, okay? See how slow it turns in cinematic mode?
Yeah.
Okay. Now have it come at us. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. There's no golfers over there. I want you to go that way, go around the tree, and come back. Can you do that?
Yep.
All right. So turn it towards that way. There you go.
Okay, wait, let me just get over here a little.
Now go down there to that tree. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Now turn. You got to turn it. Now turn it around. Okay. Now come back at us. Don't hit your mom. Watch the drone. There you go. So bring it back right over here. Ta-da!
Oh no, I keep on pressing on the camera for some reason.
It's okay. Now bring it down. Very good. Now I want you to do it. I want you to go that way, but go higher than the tree. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Go higher than the tree. A little higher. Okay, so now go down that way. Between those two trees. Okay. Now turn it that way. Now turn it towards us.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
No, it's not there.
Here.
You just quite yet.
Yep,
Now
there
it
you
is.
go. Very good. Look at you.
See, what I know is like if you're at a very far distance and you want to see where it's coming or going,
What do you do?
And turning, then you look at the camera while you're turning it to see if it's coming towards you or
Right, because when it's so far away, very smart. I didn't even tell you that.
So, okay, I'm gonna try to land it.
Okay.
So, it's gonna land.
Well, that's why
Easy.
we use landing pads out there. Yay!
Good job, bud.
Thanks. And now,
And these batteries last forever.
Okay, do you want me to stop recording?
Huh?
You want me to stop recording? Okay.
Nice.
It's a recording.
So now I want you to see that the camera can move up and down. You see these gimbals right here?
Yeah.
No,
Nope, wrong one.
that's recording. This one. Move that gimbal.
Do you want me to hold that?
You see it?
Are you going to say? I don't
Yep. Now I see it.
See it?
Yeah.
See how that moves it up and down?
Yeah, look.
And what does this one do over here?
know. You need to do it. Sorry.
Oh my God, I keep on pressing the wrong one.
That zooms it in and out. See that?
Now I'm zoomed in.
Yep. Now zoom out. All right, so I think you're starting to understand the rhythm of what I'm trying to do to teach young Patrick how to fly a drone. If you think about it, 30 minutes ago, this 10-year-old had never flown a drone before. Now he's flying around trees, doing missions, using the gimbal, using the zoom, and he's not looking at the sticks when he's flying. He is looking down at his camera because he's trying to have situational awareness of where the drone is and which way it's going. And he's doing really, really good. So, if you've had a drone sitting on a shelf for 2 years because you're afraid to fly it, just get with someone that understands how to operate a drone and wants to help you. Or B, if you're afraid of buying a drone because you think they're just so hard to fly, you can see how fast young Patrick picked it up. If you don't have anybody to teach you, email me at james@b4ugo.com. There's a hyphen in between the B, but email me. I'll try to help you. You can do a Facebook post. I'm sure there's people in your area that would love to teach you and work with you on how to fly a drone. We're a pretty tight-knit community in this drone community, so we all want to help out each other, and there's a lot of people out there that get a lot of enjoyment of teaching and just seeing how fast people can improve and get into this hobby or even do it for a living. There's a lot of good things that can come out of a drone, but one thing, don't be that guy that flies around and annoys people and breaks the FAA regulations. If you are flying a drone, besides situational awareness, be sure of your airspace. There's apps you can go to find out what airspace you're in if you're limited to fly, because a lot of the budget drones, they're not geo-fenced, so they'll fly in restricted areas, and those are the drones that bring up all the different types of problems with drones. So be sure and check your airspace before you fly with the Aloft app or the Before You Fly app. So after you've learned to fly the mini drone and you're going to go outside and fly it by yourself because you can't find anyone to help you, or you just want to do it by yourself, be sure you understand all the functions of the drone, especially on the remote. Understand where a return to home is. If you get in a panic situation, you can just bring it back. There's also an emergency stop. You can also touch on your maps and it'll have a straight line, and you can follow that straight line to come back to you. Also, if you start to get what's called signal interference sometimes and drones start acting weird, you got to turn off the GPS, and that way the satellites don't control it anymore and you can take back control of it. So many times I read about people in the Facebook forums how the first time they flew the drone malfunctioned and it flew away. Well, 99.9% of the time that's user error because they didn't understand all the functions of the drone. So try to familiarize yourself with a little bit, take it step by step, low and slow in the beginning until you understand and feel comfortable with all the different controls on the remote and understand what the drone's going to do, what the different functions when you touch all the different buttons. It may seem a little bit confusing at first, but you'll get the hang of it in no time and you'll be flying and having fun. So we're going to go back inside and sit down, and we talked, but the sound was messed up. So what we did is we get picked up and we went together and we met at the next month's AUVSI. So here we are. All right, Patrick, we are at, where are we at today?
I forgot.
We're at the AUVSI fly-in. This is where we met last month. So, all right, so we were at the house, and you practiced with the mini drone. How was that?
Good.
That was good?
Yeah.
And then what'd you do?
The drone.
You flew the Mini3 Pro.
Yeah.
And you were pretty comfortable at the beginning. Why was that? All right, so you flew the, there's a drone going by us.
Because I practiced the little one in the house.
Uh-huh. And it taught you how to fly it, and then you were really comfortable.
Last time I also practiced here, so.
So what do you want to tell all the little kids out there watching us today? What should they do if they want to learn how to fly a drone?
Fly the mini drone first.
Fly the mini drone first. And why is that?
Because it actually has protected, not like the big ones, because you can just crash immediately with the big ones.
Very good. That's a great answer. Yeah. And see, I want to show here. We've got people out here flying drones, and behind us. So we get together. That's his first turn to. That's his first time to ever fly a drone. So I've been working with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's had it for months. He didn't know how to get it in the air.
Well, then, Keith, we're helping Keith.
Yeah.
Right now, we're having problems
All right.
with stability.
Thanks so much. Guys, we'll see you in the next one.
So we're trying
All right.
to figure out.
That's it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. As you saw, Patrick learned it really quick, and so can you. Just be smart. You know, most people, like I showed, when they go out and they buy a $1,000 drone, they come home with something like this because they don't know the orientation of it. So you saw how I walked through Patrick through all those different steps to learn slowly how to learn how to fly a drone with the micro mini drone. It takes the edge off when you go fly an expensive drone. And also, he had an agenda. He wasn't just flying it around. He started working and understanding the different axes of what a drone does. Up, down, yawing left and right, rolling left and right, and pitching forward and back. So once you understand all those and you can fly it with your subconscious, then you're ready to go fly a big drone. Guys, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to me on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.